Hello and welcome to another episode of Sushi and the Swordfish. You're here with Sushi again, and I'm looking at my beat 'em ups that I have in my collection. So we're going to jump into our 16-bit era, or the 4th generation era, and I didn't realize I had as many as I do for the Sega Genesis, so I'm just going to do the Genesis on its own, and then we'll look at the Super NES kind of on its own as well. But I'm going to jump in, and some of these I played again with Swordfish quite a bit, and some of them not so much. But jumping in first, we have Alien Storm. So I only have the Japanese import version of this, import if you will. But man, that box art is just awesome. It's so much better than the North American one. And a good representation of the game. Like, these are all things you see in the game, like these floating skulls are all over the game. This is that squirrely looking, I don't know, alien thing you got to fight right at the beginning, and then you got the big alien brain thing, and these things on the shooter levels. It's not the greatest game, but it's pretty fun. I got this one for 20, which is pretty great. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's for what it's worth, it's a good game. And usually it's not a very expensive game. Next, we have an X rental, Captain America and the Avengers. I remember seeing this at a rental shop that was going out, and they were dumping all kinds of games, and yeah, I jumped on this one right away, and I think I paid $10 for it. I didn't pay very much. It is missing the manual, but always cool to get a box with your game. And not too bad. A little sun faded on the front, so, you know, those rental places, they always seem to sit their stuff out in the sun for some reason, just based on where they're located and how much sunlight they get every day. Double Dragon 3, the arcade game, also missing the manual, but I remember this one was $10 as well. I got this at a flea market, and this game's terrible. People talk about the NES game. This one is so much worse. But I think that's what Swordfish and I enjoyed about it, because it's such a bad game. And the weird system of having to go to the stores to purchase your upgrades and stuff like that. It's such a weird game. It's so bad. Next, I have a Korean release, Golden Axe 3. There you can see Golden Axe 3. It's got the sidebars. Pretty cool. I like how there's just a simple sidebar and full explanation on the back here. Yeah, this one is complete. I found this just like sitting in a bin in a little box. And I asked the guy, like, what did he want for it? He said $10. So it was really great. Runs just fine. It's neat that Samsung had the license to the Mega Drive or Genesis, if you will, in Korea. Never really found a Mega Drive when it was in Korea. I don't know. I just ended up finding a lot of games, but sometimes the consoles were hard to find. Last Battle. Man, this game also gets a lot of heat. This is one of the first games Swordfish got for the Genesis. And so again, we have really fond memories of it. As weird and as tough a game it is, and this is a tough game. I watched a playthrough of this recently. I couldn't believe how hard this game was. And just watching a playthrough just made me just dread trying to play this game all the way through. But you better believe this is an X rental. Check it out. There we go. Property of Video Station. What a dumb idea to brand their games, but I love that I got this complete, and it's actually in pretty good condition for an X rental, but you get that branding on there, that's how it goes. And like I said, Swordfish and I sometimes actively look for that, and it's a bit of a badge of honor who's got more than the other of those all tagged up. Separation Anxiety. Bought this one a few years back. I remember getting it a little bit on sale. I think I got it for $42. I think there was a 20% sale when I bought it. I like this game. It's not great, and there's some wonky swinging mechanics in this, and there's a few parts where you actually have to do the swinging, or you fall down these pits and game over. But it's an okay follow-up to Maximum Carnage. I mean, at least it has the 2 players, if nothing else. But it just felt like graphically, maybe they had to scale it back to get more characters on screen. I'm not too sure, but Maximum Carnage has a little bit tighter graphics, and they just look a lot sharper. Color-wise, everything. All right, we've got the Sega Classics version of Streets of Rage. $10 for this. Not too bad for Streets of Rage 1, and I really like Streets of Rage 1. And this is, I mean, the box is kind of crappy, I won't lie, but oh, weird, got the manual backwards. I wonder what it was thinking there. The manual is the original manual, which is interesting. Doesn't really have the game cart as well. Just the box is different with the Sega Classics. Kind of interesting that they did those repackaging. I think Revenge of Shinobi also got. I can't remember the others. There's a couple others. They're not coming to mind. All right, let's jump into some of the just cartridge-based stuff that I have. It's got The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Really great game that has some amazing graphics for the Genesis. They really pushed the hardware as hard as they could. Is it Clockwork Tortoise? I believe that was the developer. And weird game because all of the Batman and Robin games came out different on all the different consoles. Like the Super NES one is nothing like the Genesis one. The Genesis one is a bit more like a run and gun beat 'em up. I mean, I guess I could put it under the run and gun category. I kind of put it under the beat 'em up category. Kind of cheating a little bit on that one. Altered Beast, again, some people might be like, it's not really a beat 'em up, but I think it is. It's an arcade style beat 'em up. That artwork is quite phenomenal. I believe this is Boris Vallejo, I believe it's pronounced. Really cool artwork. Game has a lot of detractors. I know a lot of people don't really enjoy that game, but I mean, for what it is and when it came out, it was a pretty big deal. Another one, Golden Axe. I'm not gonna go into the whole history of Golden Axe, but oh my goodness. I actually ended up getting Swordfish, a really, really, really pristine copy. I want to say 2 years ago. I had to pay a little bit extra for it, but he got a really nice copy, and I've had this one for quite a while. But the history on that one goes a little beyond Swordfish and I don't know what else to call him, but we'll call him RC39. My goodness, every time he came over, what do you want to play? I don't know, Golden Axe? I've probably played Golden Axe 100 times at least. Golden Axe 2, it's all right. I think the first game certainly holds up a little bit better in a lot of ways. I believe this is the same artist that Boris Vallejo. Valero? I'm probably mispronouncing the last name, but you better believe, though, when I got this, and this was a long time ago, it is a video station special. So that branding strikes again. I think we're up to a count of, what is it, 3? If we count the NES games. Maximum Carnage, again, cool with the red cartridge. I've seen the special edition version of this one time. Wasn't gonna jump at that for the cost, but kind of neat to see that in person. And I believe there's still a copy of Super Potato in Akihabara that's, what is it, like 68,000 yen or something like that. Some absolutely insane price. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Again, this is kind of a game that slept on. It's quite generic, but it's a fun, whatever, 30, 45 minute romp. It's decent. Could have been a lot worse. And some of those Power Ranger games I heard are really good. That's the only one I've personally played, but I heard some of them are not bad. My completely tore up, chewed up, terrible copy of Mystical Fighter, but again, another very interesting game. Really cool to have a game that has a very different vibe to it and set in a very different setting. I'm not exactly sure which period of Japan that's set in, but to be two kabuki fighters is very, very different and offers a really cool experience. Splatterhouse 2, again, some people might say this is a bit more of an arcade adventure or action game, but it's kind of a beat 'em up too. I've heard the third game, which I've only dabbled in a bit and don't own. The third game definitely has a little bit more of a traditional beat 'em up style. We got Streets of Rage 2. Never really liked the artwork on this game. Bought this one on a whim. This is actually the first Streets of Rage game I'd ever played was the second one. Again, that friend RC39, we ended up playing this in a garage in minus 35-degree weather. Great experience. Beat the game too. Streets of Rage 3. Finally, this took me, I don't know, 15 plus years to finally find a copy at a price that I was willing to pay. Got it for, I think it's a little faded there, but $30. So was really excited to finally get Streets of Rage 3. Obviously nice to have the set. And I like that game, even though it gets a lot of heat too, and is quite of a difficult game, but I do enjoy it. Hyperstone Heist. I think I only paid, I want to say $20 for this, and that would have been a long time ago. Again, that would have probably been over, I don't know, 20 years, maybe something like that. This is already a pretty old game at that point, but the sticker is pretty chewed up. That's a pretty common issue for a lot of games, the sticker. But really fun game. I mean, Turtles in Time gets a lot more love, but that game is perfectly serviceable, and they did a good job with the character sprites and stuff, and they look really similar to the other game. And finally, we have Two Crude Dudes, which, again, nice beat 'em up. Look at it, like, just tore to shreds. It looks like this thing has gone to the apocalyptic world of the Two Crude Dudes, which is, I don't know, a sort of continuation of the Bad Dudes franchise. Swordfish and I played the arcade version of this recently. The music is just, what a nightmare this game is. It's fun, and we've tried to beat it. We've had some difficulty doing so. I mean, I got it for a good price, for just under $14. But what a weird game. I don't know what to say about it. It's a very strange beat 'em up. It's probably one of the weirdest console beat 'em ups. All right, but that's the Genesis beat 'em ups that I have. So any of your favorites in there? Is there any ones you have fond memories of, or maybe with playing with somebody that kind of drums up some of those memories or experiences you once had? Love to hear them and throw them in the comments. Looking forward to jumping into what's next, and that will be the Super NES collection that I have, and remembering and reminiscing on some of those games. Thanks again. I'll see you down that road. Take care.